to win at Mega Millions, I want to straight up just be honest with you. This is clickbait. You can click out now, but you got to buy a ticket and happen to have the lucky number. Other than that, let's get high, let's smoke. I'm Rob Clark with Dabr Cloth Clothing, and you've been clickbaited. But I brought you in here for some humor. So come on, stay for a minute, get to know me, subscribe, find out who I am, check out my channel, check out my videos. I'm more into doing lives than I am to recording, and I'm also into no edits right now, mainly because I don't have the equipment or the time to do all that bullshit. So you're taking it raw and uncut. Did you get the notification? Let me see.
Usually it would like in a message.
Oh, is there a social? It didn't notify anyone yet. Hey, did you get the notification? Auto sync is off. Tap to turn on. All right, hasn't done anything yet. Where's your YouTube app? Now, in the YouTube app, there's an inbox. Yeah. So that just popped up right now.
Maybe I didn't have my settings all the way.
Maybe let's see if you have your settings set to for subscription. Yeah, your bell's turned on. I don't fucking know. Did you guys get the notification? What's good? What's good? Did you guys get notification? But I was definitely in the subscribe down there, huh?
Yeah, you're on a subscription. That's weird. It could just be a.
And let me see your phone one more time.
Let me just put my coffee.
Yeah, let's go in here under notifications, all apps. Let's go to YouTube and see how she has it set up. Notifications are set up on this. I got the one that said you were live. Okay, good. General notifications, no sound on. More settings in app. Notifications. Notify me about activity from channels I'm subscribed to. Channel settings. Mentions, reply to my. Notify me about replies to my comment. Everyone thinks I'm on Facebook, but I'm on YouTube. That might be the case. I don't know. My wife didn't get no notification on this. What did you say? I got one for sure. Well, I'm glad you did, bro. But you didn't get the one I did earlier, right? Because this is the second live I've done today. You got one for sure. Oh, I did get one earlier. I got in at the end of it. Oh, okay. Now let's see if we can send a share out to one more person. Well, we're drinking our coffee. Man, I said I've given away on my birthday, and we managed to get some people. 17. I can get 100 people on Facebook, but let's see. I wonder if we get 100 people over here. I wonder if we can get 100 people over here. So, Josh, did you hear I'm going to be having some grinders like this with Dabr? I just also shared it out. Nice. So, did you hear I'm going to be having some just like this? Yeah, man, I can't wait. They said they're already shipping them to me, so I can't wait. I will be dope, dope, dope. I should have got a sticker for the bottom that said the end. I've never seen one of those around here. Oh, shit. Yeah, well, if you don't end up buying one of these, when I finally buy a batch of 100 of these, I'll hook you up with one for all your efforts. But I can't do it before I am able to get a bunch of them. You know what I mean? Right now, I could only afford 10 of them. You know. Oh, you have to sign in, James, on the YouTube app, obviously. But you're obviously are signed in now because you're talking to me right now. So you're doing this through an app on your phone right now, James? How are you on this? Through a mobile web page? How are you doing this? So that's probably why you didn't get the notification. You do need the YouTube app. Let's see if my wife ever got her notification. Oh, you're on a PC. Okay. That's probably why you didn't get the notification right away. How does it look on a PC? Let me see. Here, let me show you something on a PC. James, I'm going to show you how to find me so you don't have no trouble. On a PC, I can help with that one. All right, so here's YouTube. And we're going to go to the main front of YouTube. Close, close. Later, remind me tomorrow. All right. So here you go. So on the actual YouTube page right there, you can go subscriptions over here. Right. Okay, that's fine. If I tell you I'm live, come over here to subscriptions. Click on subscriptions. And this should bring up everything that you're subscribed to. Okay. So if you don't find it that way, then you can always type in Robert Dabr Clark. Robert Dabr Clark. There's actually a Robert Dane Clark, obviously, huh? Robert Dabr Clark. You click on that. Now, if you click on videos, you it's like that's where you see them all. But if you're on home doesn't show them. Sometimes it won't. For me, it's showing because it's my account. But sometimes it doesn't show it on my homepage. So if you can't find it there, it will be under the videos tab for sure. And like, here's all my videos here. Yeah, I don't know how the notification works on the PC. I know on a cell phone, you get that shit right away on the app. Shit, promises, man. That every day has promises. But I have some shirts. I have some shirts and hoodies I have to make for a customer. It's running. It's running my high. It's ruining my high. Yeah. Fuck with that shit later. He's like, man, it's a buzzkill, man. Yeah, it took a second for me to figure out what you meant, but running is like ruining your high. Like, who wants to be running while they're high? Unless you're a jogger for a living or something. You're like, damn, man, I've been jogging for hours. I need to get high. Like that would be appropriate. But to go get high and have to jog, I think that would kill your buzz. I'm just saying. Let's keep it wheel. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was downloading a bunch of jokes online and we were selling those jokes online that I found. That's why I didn't remember that shit. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Renee. It would kill the buzz, right? Oh my goodness. So in November, we're gonna have a bunch of new people, new states and shit that possibly are gonna be coming on to having some legalization or legalization changing. Man, the landscape for the changing of legalization over the next fucking 4 years are gonna just be like really climbing. I can't wait until the U.S. has made marijuana 100% legal, and we can make the war on drugs, 2-0 for the war on drugs, 2 for marijuana winning in Canada and in the U.S. The war on drugs 0. Like right now, Canada, the marijuana, the war on drugs have tapped out on marijuana in Canada. We tap out. So massive shout out to Canada for fucking making the war on marijuana as a drug tap out. Tap out. Dare has actually removed marijuana from their list of drugs. Yeah, Dare has actually removed marijuana from their list of drugs. So tap out, motherfuckers. Tap out. The war on drugs really was just a war on the people, man. After November, after November and after 2020, I think it's going to be over. I think Trump is looking at stopping it at after the November elections. Yeah, no, that's a tap out. So, what are you thinking after November and after 2020? I think it's going to be over. You think Trump is going to stomp out all the movements? Do you understand that right now we have 30 states out of 52 states legal, right? 30 states out of 52. Do you understand that they will have a civil war on their hands that they try to reverse marijuana?
He's already putting laws out for no protesting. He's already fucking putting that shit. He's like, I will fucking bring the police out to stop fucking protesting. You can't have any more people protesting out in the fucking front of the White House. You're already putting laws down. They're gonna have no protesters.
No protesting, huh?
I see that shit happening.
You see that shit happening? So he's going to remove it from the federal, and it's going to be a state decision, because we do, but have the right to govern ourselves locally. So in other words, that means state law locally trumps federal law, but doesn't trump federal law on federal movement. So in other words, if you're traveling states and doing shit that is beyond that one state's jurisdiction, then now you're participating on a federal level in their mind. Oh, I'm getting hungry. Hungry hippo. Well, that's the Constitution. So he's following the Constitution. So that I concur with. The Constitution writes is that we have the right to govern ourselves locally. So that's not messing with the marijuana. That's not messing with marijuana. And in fact, Facebook just lifted its ban on marijuana. Like, you couldn't do marijuana ads and shit. I mean, there's still some boundaries. How's it going, Miss Andy? Miss Andy's in the other room. Her phone ain't even right here, so she's not even seeing that, but I'll let her know. She's doing all right. Getting my breakfast going. Lovely woman. I'm getting my coffee going. Yeah, so if that's the case, cannabis is going to get more legal. What? Got you. You were just bringing breakfast in?
No, yeah.
Here, I told them you were starting breakfast.
I just started my coffee.
She's like, she's like, yep, I was taking a dump. Would you like some corn?
Went and got my coffee.
Right? I'm packing. Speaking of corn, I'm packing my corn cob pipe. Speaking of coffee, going and getting something, I'm starting to get a little noshy.
Okay, well, not breakfast. I wasn't sure if you wanted it yet. Be back.
And my Adobe. Oh, let's twist that one more. Look it. Yeah, I have some screen printing to do. I woke up. It was storming last night. It was like hours ago. It wasn't raining when I was out in it this morning. It was drizzling a little bit, but nothing big. Sorry that my angle of the bodangle. Frost on the ground. That's what's up. So I've been playing with biscuits lately, guys. And biscuits are pretty cool. You know? Should have had stitches, right? Oh yeah, biscuits, man. So so what I do is I'm using them for everything. I take a biscuit out, like, right, and open up the thing, pop it, right, set my biscuits out, and I go to art school with them. Like I'll take a biscuit and cut it in the shape of a heart with my little heart cookie cutter, and then cook it for the wife, and then put a little jelly and stuff with little hearts in there. You know, I do that shit. The other thing I've done is taken a biscuit and taken like the bottom of a cup and smashed it in the middle to where it caused it to pop up on the edges and down and depressed in the middle. And then I put that in the oven and it cooked up like a little bowl. Put a little marinara and cheese sauce on there, cheese on it, and little toppings, and made it a personal pan pizza deep dish because the biscuit pops up. Fucking bomb. I've taken and stretched it out, put apple filling on the inside, folded over, used a fork to pinch the edges, and cooked it. It was like an apple turnover. I've taken it and stretched it out and made look little toes in the front like a bear claw, and then put fucking cinnamon and frosting on that shit to make a bear claw. Like I've been playing with the dough. Took some and braided it and made like a bread roll. You know, don't you about yeah those do those that shows the love, right? I like dog biscuits. Don't you, James? Don't you like them Scooby snacks? Well, are you just the Susie homemaker, right? I'm telling you, fam. Shit. I was doing some shit with some biscuits. Stretch them out, make miniature pizzas. You can make from savory stuff to motherfucking. I made a cheese fondue bowl. You know what I mean? I was Susie homemaker. And then don't forget regular old biscuits. Those are nice too, you know. Homemaker. Yeah, well, I was kitchen hoe and I was hoeing out those biscuits. Oh my God, it was fucking great, man. It was fucking epic there. I'm thinking, what else can I do with these biscuits? What else can we do? Can you guys think of anything? I was thinking about making little chili bowls with, I mean, you know, like biscuits for chili bowl, or making some chicken pot pie and use it as the top of the bowl and bake it on top of the bowl. Dabber cooking show, get your shit and get it. Hey, I used to actually be a dietary chef. A club sandwich with biscuits, that'd be dope. Stretch it out into a square shape and make a square biscuit, bust it open. That would be your fresh bread. That would be dope, actually. Maybe with some like fresh egg salad or some grilled cheese. Now you're starting to make my mouth water. You guys are giving me some good ideas. What else can we do? What else can we do with it? Oh yeah, the biscuits, man, they cook just fine. Oh, some French toast shit. That would be that'd be some dope shit, huh? That would be some good. Hey, I've made to like regular pizza, this is how you have to do the pizza to cook the dough right, guys. You actually have to take the dough and stretch it to however you want it for the pizza. Stretch it out, right? Put it in the oven and par cook it. Basically cook it to where it has a shape and you can feel it, but it hasn't turned brown yet. Like it's like almost at the browning side. Pull it out, put the sauce on it, put your toppings on it, put it back in and finish it out in the oven. That's how you have to do it so the dough gets cooked perfect. Otherwise, the marinara is gonna keep it wet. Yep, mid done stage, or they call it par cooking. Par cook it. My wife, check this out. I took a biscuit and cut a heart out of the center of a biscuit. So now I have a biscuit with a heart shape in the middle. Okay. Then I took that same cutter and buttered it up on the inside of it and put it in the pan, and I cracked an egg in it, and I put water in it and blanched the egg. Okay. So that way it was cooked all the way around, but still wet at the top. And so I can do like an over easy egg, but without over easy. So some fish tacos, waffles, that would be dope, right? I wish I had a waffle pan. Steak and cheese, hell yeah. So I took her heart, egg, and that the piece of heart dough that I cut out of the biscuit, I smashed it down, cut it in half so it'd be thin, put it at the bottom of the biscuit and kind of like pinched it back together. So when it cooked, I had a biscuit that had a bottom and the sides and everything. And I took that egg and I put it in and I put it together and I put it in the oven. That shit was dope, huh?
It was so good.
Do you have a picture of it?
I do.
There's a lot you can do with biscuits, right? Without having to make fucking fresh dough. Ooh, meatball and sauce in a biscuit? Yeah. There. I gotta turn your contrast down. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it that well. Maybe this will make it better. There you go. So I also took remember I said I cut it in half. So I took the half part and cooked it and layered it right on top. Hey, how about a stuffed biscuit, like a stuffed bell pepper, but stuffed biscuit? And then I made a t-shirt one for me. There's my t-shirt, egg biscuit. That was egg and cheese t-shirt biscuit. Chef Robert, right? Yes, it was a Dabr shirt. Pot pie. Roll that bitch over the top and stick it in an oven, a bowl that you can put in the oven just fine. Fuck yeah. Make your stew and shit on the stove. Put it together, bake it. And those were butter honey biscuits, so they were tasty, real flaky. You know what I mean? They were flakier than a crack at a McDonald's job. A crackhead out of McDonald's job. Doesn't matter, right? A nice pot pie. How about some like New England clam chowder put in a biscuit bowl? It's starting to get me hungry now, right? How about a biscuit bowl, biscuit and gravies? A biscuit bowl, biscuit and gravies. You just take a little fucking cup and be like, boom, wrap it around the cup, pull it down, cook that cup a little bit, throw your biscuits and gravy in that, give them a couple of the biscuits bowls. Put some grits and butter in that bitch, huh?
So many ideas.
So many options, man. Everything from sweet to savory. Yeah, pour your gravy into the biscuits, right? See, that's some epic shit right there. This is the shit that'd be going through my head. Y'all think I'd be thinking of new art designs and new shit? Nope, biscuits and gravy. Never be thinking about biscuits. Oh, I could take a biscuit and make it a magic little button. John Wayne and True Grit. Yeah, just a biscuit cookbook. You know, can you imagine one of you guys going out and creating a biscuit cookbook and it makes it to the top 10 seller? Quick cook ideas in 15 minutes or less, because you can cook a biscuit in like less than 15 minutes, man. So you can put together dinner quickly for your little rugrats with some biscuits. We'll call it little semen feeders. My wife's like, what the fuck did he just say? Feed your seed. Way to bust a biscuit cookbook. That you can cook a bunch of stuff with cannabis. That's dope. See, somebody's coming up with that idea, but they're with cannabis. They need to come up with that shit for biscuits. It should have a title that catches their eye, like Feed Your Semen. They're like, what the fuck are they talking about? I'm not talking about the dead swimming ones that end up in women's brain. I'm talking about the ones that actually generate a child. Feed your children. That end up lodging in the stagnation of one's brain. Yeah, let's. I'm gonna share this to Facebook. Cooler is I'm able to use the mic. Oh shit! You even have one that shows you how to make some canna beer. That's dope. Yeah, tell us the recipe about the cannabis beer. Do you know it? Not like you don't have to say, oh, you have to do 10 tablespoons and do it for 3 hours. You don't have to give us the exact, but can you kind of give us an overview of what's it take? And you're using yeast and sugars and like where, help me. Or is it infusing cannabis into beer or alcohol? I'll put the book out and send you pictures, bro. All right, that's what's up. Michael. Man, if you didn't get the notification, try to make sure that you signed up with the subscription to subscribe and that you have the bell clicked on. I have a microbrewer friend. I should ask him. They say that hops are from the cannabis family to some degree, the buds or something. That's why a pile of hops looks like a pile of nugs almost, they said. So apparently it's supposed to be doable. Do you guys know why alcoholism has such a fucking a foothold in the world? Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. The reason alcohol has such a foothold is is alcoholism is hereditary. Hops and cannabis, same family, I do believe. Alcoholism is hereditary. Would you guys all agree with that? Is that a fair enough statement? So, so what does that have to do with the topic? Well, what that has to do with the topic is before we drink water as a society, even globally, water, we didn't have a purification system. We didn't know how to purify water. Water was a risk. It could make you sick. It can give you malaria. It can give you diarrhea. It can kill you. It had all kinds of issues. However, people would take water and they would make beer. Well, beer, for some reason, might get you drunk. And if they made like near beer, which is non alcoholic, some wouldn't get you drunk. But whatever it was, in their mind, it was the mixture of those herbs and stuff that purified the water in their mind, and that was safe to drink. So they were drinking beer before we drank water as a staple. And that developed alcoholism, which also built up the hereditaryism. So that's why by the time it came to prohibition in the 1920s, after fucking from the 1700s and before, like we've been drinking alcohol and the hereditariness of alcoholism, there's no way that was standing. There's no way that shit prohibition was going to stand. It just wasn't going to stand. And so that's why there's such a staple of alcoholism in our world, because we drank alcohol before we fucking did anything else. Yeah, it was the go-to source of water, right? I used to drink like a fish. And look at some of those. Those are old terms right there. Drink like a fish. Why? Because the water was brought from a river.
Wow.
What did a fish do? He swam in that river, right? You drink so much beer, you're part of the river. You look like a fish.
Wow.
It's crazy, right? So, and cannabis and alcohol don't mix very well. Like if you're smoking weed, I mean, it can mix, don't get me wrong, but it don't mix very well. Not every interaction with it is a great interaction. Some will put you into spins and get you throwing up, right? We have a testifier over here. For real reasons. That's for real, right? Old sayings have been around for a long time for real reasons, right? So because they don't mix very well, they become enemy number one to alcoholics. And guess what? Alcoholics fucking run the world to some degree. And now you know the rest of the story. How's that for a story, huh? I love burning triclones. Yes, like Peter. What was his name? Phil. What was his Harvey? What was his first name? Something Harvey. I'm Paul Harvey, and now you know the rest of the story. Like, what was his name?
I don't know. I'm like lost right now. I don't know.
Paul. Yep.
Was he a newscaster that said that, or a commentator or something?
Yeah, Paul Harvey was a guy that had a syndicated show in the 90s. And I used to listen to it when I did deliveries on Diet Fresh. And I'll tell you one of his stories. Okay. So it was a radio show. Yeah. So today was a beautiful day to go out on a golf course. And, so and so, and a father decides to take his son on a golf course, and his son hated it. Excuse me, y'all. Son hated it, but he would go out there with his dad. And so he never was really good at the game, didn't really care for the game, but decided that he would do it because it was his father and it was time he got to spend with his dad. So he said, fuck it. So he would just do it because his dad enjoyed it, right? Well, this goes on for 5 years, and one day he decides he decides to quit doing golf, and within 3 months of quit going golfing with his dad, within 3 months, his dad suffers a severe stroke, and it messed him up. So it brought the family together, and as part of his therapy, his father wanted to get out on the golf course, so he went out there with his father to help him with the therapy, and it helped bring a lot of mobility back. And with all that effort, his father still ended up passing. So this gentleman gave up the game and quit for a while, and then one day decided that he would play in his father's honor. And to this day, senior Mr. Watson would be proud of his son Tom. And now you know the rest of the story. Tom Watson, the golf legend.
Wow. What a story. Holy smokes. Wow. So he tells those kind of stories? I'd be crying every day.
No, he tells compelling stories. You know what I mean?
Oh.
James says, I want a rosin press. Now you know the rest of the story.
I love stories like that.
You know who Tom Watson, the golf legend, is? Have you ever heard of the name before?
I heard the name, but I didn't know the story behind him.
He did have some tearjerkers sometimes. Yeah.
Man. You didn't even get all detailed like you normally do telling me stories that make me cry. Wow, it made me cry.
And I've had that story since 95.
Damn. You had that in the vault. You
Never
pulled out of the vault.
Never shared it with you, I guess, huh?
I don't know. You're driving. All your hours of driving. Crazy.
And now you know the rest of the story. Hey, one time I'm driving down the street listening to fucking Paul Harvey, right? You know, and I'm fucking having to drive like 50 miles to my next stop. So I'm like, I'm driving, pull out the joint. I know I got a bunch of traffic and shit happening, right? Taking a hit, tapped it on the edge like this, you know, on the edge to tap it out the window. And when I did, it caught the edge of the window like this and like just flicked the thing right out of my hands. And when it flipped it right out of my hand, the wind sucked it. And I looked out the fucking rearview window, and I didn't see it go out the window. I didn't see it go anywhere. And I'm like fucking looking. I can't find this fucking bitch. I can't have it smoking up in the truck. If it is, like, I have to control the smell where the smell is. I can't be having these coolers I'm going to drop off at people's house smelling like chronic. You know what I mean? So now I'm panicking. I pulled over. I searched through this whole fucking maze of fucking racks in this van trying to find it, in this delivery van. I can't find it. So next thing you know, I get in the van. I start driving down the street, and that was the last of my weed too. And I'm driving down the street, and I'm like wanting to finish smoking that, and I'm pissed. I'm like thinking it has to be in here. So I pull out a book of matches, and I tear one match, and I put it like I did that joint, and like let go of it, and watched it go in the back. And then I did another one, and another one. I counted how many matches. Boom. Boom. I figured they wouldn't all land in the same spot, but they would all pretty much land in a general area. And if I saw a bunch of matches in a general area, at least I could isolate where to look for this fucking thing. And that's what I did. I started throwing these out. Next thing you know, I go in the back, and there's all these matches around the metal framing and the wood plank. And so I started looking, and sure enough, the blunt fell right between the wood plank and the metal framing. So it was like level, so you couldn't see the motherfucker. Like I'll burn myself trying to show you guys. But anyways, that bitch was like right in that space in between the wood and that. And I was like, oh shit. Grabbed up all the matches, grabbed that fucking thing, and went out. So I didn't sit there and keep burning. I was like, nice. I was fucking happy. I felt like a genius. I was like, oh, I have solved the fucking thing. But the first time, I couldn't find that motherfucker anywhere. You guys ever drop anything and you couldn't find it and you just started recreating the drop to see if you could find it? Have you guys ever done that? Anyone? You?
I don't think I've recreated like dropping. I wouldn't have thought to throw matches.
No, I'm just saying, like, let's say you drop something on the floor and you're like, can't find it. You're like, fuck. You're like, have you ever tried to
like retest it? I guess I might have. Like, I looked, yeah.
Many years ago, film canister of weed out the car window accidentally pissed me off. Oh, I got busted buying crack many years ago. Many years ago. Fuck yeah. Are we talking dog years? So that was like 3 months ago? He dropped some crack in the snow, used a hairdryer to melt the snow till he found the crack. That was dog years ago. Well, there's 7 dog years to every 1 human year, right? Last time I did crack cocaine, I came home and it was like fucking almost 18 years ago. I came home, I was like, my wife's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, nothing. She was like, I don't ever want to see you nothing again like this. I was like, all right. Oh, yeah, crack and meth. Yep, meth will ruin lives and minds and all kinds of things. I'm glad I'm sane after, or a level of sanity after all the drugs I've done in my life. I've never shot up. I've never done heroin other than the prescribed synthetic bullshit they give you for pain or whatever. You know, I've never done a Percocet. I've never done an Oxy. I've done Vicodin. What was the other one? I think Vicodin. That's the hardest one I think I've done is a Vicodin. And that's like a form of it, right? Used to go down to Mexico for somas back in the day. Did you guys see that crowd of like thousands of people? Right, James? But your money and you finish typing. I went to a convenience store and pulled out my sack of weed and couldn't find my money. And and the guy gave me my drink for free. And then when things slowed down, we went in the back. He locked the store up, and we went in the back and smoked some weed. And the cool thing about it is, his weed was better than mine, and I didn't even have to break out my weed. What the fuck was I thinking? I need a Sudafed and some toilet paper. Fuck. The fucking drains are kicking in, man. I'm just fucking with you. Oh, wow. What is fine? Thank you, baby. Hey, how many times? I'm not even going to ask you if you've ever done it. I'm going to ask how many times have you done it? How many times have you been busted in public? Not necessarily by a cop, but like a person or whatever, right? In public with a joint behind the ear. I've had it happen twice. 2 times I had a blunt. Once was a blunt, once was a joint behind the ear, and forgot about it. Like, have you guys ever stuck a joint or a blunt behind the ear and forgot about the motherfucker and walked out into the store or went and did some shit? I was at a party and put the bitch behind there because not once. Oh, wow. I was at a party, had 2 of them rolled, put one behind there. I don't mess with them. Well, damn, I thought that was everybody. Well, my bad. Anyways, I had 2 rolled and I put one behind the ear. We smoked one. And then next thing you know, I'm roaming around the house. And then next thing you know, someone was like, hey, let's take a ride to the store real quick. And he didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing. And we jumped in the whip. And that's how that happened. The second time it was similar. Not really a party, but different. You know, I had rolled multiple and thought I was staying around the spot where I was at and ended up mobbing somewhere and had that shit behind my ear. Yes. So, what have you guys done that you think that everyone has done? Like, I just thought everyone has done that. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I don't like the fact it keeps burning. Right? On a joint will go out unless you have it upright. If you have it like that, it will go out. Shit, in your own backyard, right? So that's the same, walking through public like that, and not anybody said nothing. The person, both times, someone says, hey man, you got a joint in your ear. And I'm like, oh shit, my bad. And taking it down. Blunts are like cigarettes. They will keep burning. But they will go out. It just depends on the oil level and stuff in the thing. I've had them go out and I've had them keep burning. The one thing I do love about a blunt is that they never run. You never are seeing me. Look at that burn. Like, it's a perfect straight line. You're never seeing me on the show. Like you will with joints, you know? That's one thing I can't stand about a joint. Fucking run maintenance. Who the fuck wants to deal with run maintenance, man? You know what I mean? Not me. That shit's annoying. That's the one thing I always hated about papers. Blunts, I don't have to worry about that shit. But if you know that, but with blunts, here's the thing about blunts for stuffing them out. Here's the one thing about blunts, okay? And you don't have to take my word for it. In fact, experiment yourself, okay? Blunts are best smoked from beginning to end and keeping them burning. If you put a blunt out, and I don't care if it's for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you put a blunt out and you relight it, it goes stale tasting like in that time. When you go to relight it, it's like smoking a fucking ashtray. It tastes like rancid. And then you let that shit go out again and light it again, it gets even nastier. I mean, it gets nasty, like really bad, right? So, and the best way to test it is this. Take a joint hit off of a joint, not a blunt. Take a joint hit and go. Or, take your breath of air, or not even, just take a big hit. Hold it in your mouth. And then swallow that hit down. And exhale. That happens a lot on joints, no problem. You take a blunt and you go. Fill up your mouth. Just stall it out there 2 seconds. Go. 1001, 1002. And then swallow that smoke. You're going to gag. You're going to be like, ah, like that shit stales up that fucking quick. Like you will gag your fucking ass off. If you don't take some air with that smoke, with that blunt right away, like, and make it go fresh down, that shit, oh my God, it gets bad. So with a blunt, the moral of the story is you want to kill it all the way through. You don't really want to save it. So like smoking blunt roaches.
Oh, that's the worst.
Huh? Did you hear her?
Especially when you don't tell me when you start to get to the end and you get the.
Ugh. It's the worst, right? It ain't like joint roaches, right?
Mm-mm.
Not at all. Hell yeah, James. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so in reference to holding a hit, you only need to have it go through your lungs for 7 seconds and exhale it. Anything past like 7 seconds hitting your lungs is really just unnecessary, But us stoners think, well, if I hold it in, I'm getting everything. And that's not true. You've actually gotten everything that's why when you take a dab, you shouldn't hold a dab in. A dab, you can actually rip your lungs and rip lung tissues from coughing too hard. So the best thing is just and spit it. Hit it and spit it. Yeah, so I agree with you on that. A bong and pipe guy, yeah. I used to be a pipe guy for the longest time. I used to carry all kinds of pipes. I had like a hell of a collection, huh?
You did. You have some really pretty ones. Just as pieces. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I had some pieces. I had hundreds of dollars wrapped up in glass at one time. The only thing bad about pipes and bongs is that I got tired of throwing expensive pieces if I got pulled over or something. Like I had to deal with the cops. Like, now it's during a legal time, it's different. But during that time, this with the roach, I can flick that bitch, eat it, whatever, Yeah, and in reference to bongs, I'm into small bongs too. Like I like my dab rig. Look how small it is. I'm like into small bongs when it comes to bongs and rigs.
Look, my little rig. I just gotta clean it out.
Yeah. What time is it?
6:40.
6:40. All right. Well, Facebook's thirsty, yo. You know that, right? So Facebook's thirsty for me. So and they're too silly to make their way over here yet. So we have forgiveness for them. So we're gonna move over to Facebook, yo, and we're gonna bang it hard on Facebook. You guys come through. Some 420 cleaners, some special brushes. You know, the a cheap cleaner for 420 cleaner, a cheap bong cleaner is going to be rubbing alcohol, isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and salt. You put salt, like white granule salt, and rubbing alcohol, and you get you a pot of water, and you get the water hot. And if it's a pipe, you just fill the bag up with alcohol and salt, and you put the pipe in the Ziploc baggie, stick it in the fucking boiling water for a minute, let the alcohol and the pipe and everything warm up. Take it, pull it out, water over it, and and it will clean it up. All right, let's go over there. That's almost as tall as me. All right, guys, I will see you over there. One love. Let's go over there. Robert Dabr Clark, the regular, my profile page.